Welcome to another Explosive Marketing tutorial. Today we're going to cover an introduction to the database module. You will see that we are currently logged into the customer portal, and you will see the database link here. So simply click on the database module link and you'll come to this overview page. This is an overview of your database and the records that are contained within it. The first section here is search, allows us to search the database. The second section is at a glance, tells you how many total records you have, how many with email, how many with mobile, and how many with postcode. We then have the search queries and query results sections here, which we'll cover off a little bit later. And finally, a little further down, is the last 12 months. Just a visual snapshot of how many records have been added to the database in that period. So let's first search and look for a database record. So search options are company name, address, telephone, postcode, mobile and email. You can see by this drop down here, and you simply select what you're searching for and add in some text here. So I'm going to search for the name Price, and I just select search, and this will bring up any results in your database that match what you've looked for. You'll see here you'll get an amount of information, so the company, the full name, surname. You can filter or reorder these results by clicking the small arrows here or here, and you can view more records on a page just here. As this search results only returned one, this won't make any difference, but you get the idea. I can now drill into that record. So if we look at this record itself, and the first page we'll come to is the timeline. Now the timeline is an important bit of information because it will tell you every activity and engagement you've had with that database record over the lifetime of being in the system. This ranges from points awarded and offers redeemed through to emails being sent. We look a little further down here, an SMS being sent here, and this has various activities to it. If it's points awarded, it will tell you how many points, and if it's an email that's been sent, you can view that email, or you can resend it by clicking on these buttons, and each line itself will have any actions that it's allowed to have. You'll see on this email that was sent on the 19th of December, it was opened. So we know that email was opened by that customer. If we look a little further down, we can see, as you can see, there are various different options. There's one here, sent email here on the 9th of October, and that was opened and it was clicked through. So again, you can see at a granular level every individual activity that has happened for this customer. The second tab here is the details, which gives you all of the details of that individual record. You'll see the communication preferences at the bottom, so sending emails, sending SMSs, sending post, as well as their name and details here. You can change these details at any time by clicking on the Change Details button, and you'll see a form here with all those details in, and you can change one part of that. So if I change the company name to Test Company and scroll down to the Save button, you will see that will save that record, and you'll see now that the company name is called Test Company. Changing details is quite important when it comes to the communication preferences. If you have a bounce back email, you can maintain a clean database by changing the send email to bounced, and this will stop any further emails going out of the system, and to ensure that you're not sending emails that will just bounce back in your inbox. Key Dates tab will allow you to see the key dates, any triggered campaigns that we run, for example birthdays and anniversaries. These are the dates that apply for this record. Again, you can change the key dates at any time. So if I put spouse's birthday on the 5th of May and save that, so every 5th of May is my spouse's birthday, and that will maintain that data. The last tab is the loyalty club. This is a list of all the transactions, current balance, the total spent, lifetime points issued, lifetime points redeemed. Loyalty club is not turned on for all accounts, but if you have it, this is the loyalty club information for this individual customer. And the final button, which is start, it allows you to start a campaign, which we cover off in the tutorial running campaigns, which we suggest you watch. So let us return back to the database overview. Viewing an individual record is obviously quite important, but one of the other options is to run a query on the database. So here's a list of my queries. Let's create a new one for today's demo. We will call it today's demo query, and we will press save. What this is doing is allowing you to filter your results, filter your database for use for email, SMS and mail in campaigns. And this is a current count for 4 records. And we can add a filter. So let's add a filter where the surname is equal to price. And I will use the plus sign there, and that will add a filter. Now, as you can see, the number has changed here from 4 to 1, which means we have 1 record. But if you look here, we've got none for email and none for SMS. Remember, we just turned off the email to bounce, so therefore it's not available for use. If I go back to that record, if I search for price again and go back to that record and change the communication settings here, change the details, and we'll put email back to yes, which will save that. Okay, and we can now go back to our demo query here, today's demo query. You'll see the last 5, so it's a quick way of getting to it. Now you will see that for email we have 1. Okay, so that shows you how that relates. You've not saved this data at any time. You can add and play with these filters as much as you want. You can choose everything to do with their details, distance, and gender, various other bits of information or data information that you have within your database. You can have is or. For those of you that are used to database queries, this will make more sense. This is either an equal or a combination of results. And finally, here is the actual equation to use: empty equal to or greater than, less than, like, not like, or not equal to. This like is used for something that is a partial match. There is a separate tutorial on using the query filters, which will explain a lot more about those. We suggest you watch that. We can save the results of that query at any time by clicking Save All Results here, or we can save just email or save just mail. Okay, so if I save all results, I need to give it a name, so the query result name. So we'll do today's date, or today's data, let's call it. And if I press save, and what that's done is it's saved that results today, in other words what it looks like today. If we add more records to our database over the next few days and come back, and some of them have the same name as price, then obviously this number will be different, and we can save it again. So this is a snapshot of the data at that time, and we can rename that here. So it's data 1, and we can view that data by clicking the view button here. There it is, and if I just go back, we can export the data here. We can delete that query result. This doesn't delete the data itself, it just deletes the actual results that we've saved, and we can use the start button to start a campaign. Let's just go back to the database overview and see the last thing, which is about adding a new record. So one of the ways to add data is to add them in your customer portal. So here we've just added new. Sorry, I went to that quite fast, so let's do that again. So here is the new button. Simply add new there. We will title the title, we'll call it Mr. James Smith. Okay, and we can put address details here. We'll put this in Chesterfield and put the postcode, there's one we've used before, and we'll just put anyone at anyone.com. Obviously this email won't work, we just made that up, gives you an idea. And we can choose the gender, date of birth. Let's put the date of birth of May 2000, let's go 1982, 80s being a good year, and various other data settings that we have set up and save. So adding a data record is as simple as that. We now have one more data record in the database. You'll see now 5 in total, 5 with email, 3 with mobile, and 5 with postcode. So that's an overview of your database. I hope we found it useful. There's various other tutorials on working with queries of your database, understanding the timeline, and exporting and using your data. As always, if you've got any questions, please call or contact the Explosive Marketing team. They'll only be too happy to help, and we hope you found this tutorial useful.